All right, here's an example of a simple for next loop. But before we get into it, we would need to understand what a for next loop actually does and how is it useful? How can you use it? Why bother actually? Well, if you're repeating the same thing more than 3 times, you might find it useful to use a loop. So first, you need to make sure that you have your developer tab. If you don't, I've made a separate video, very short, that explains how to do it. Now open the VBA editor. The shortcut key is Alt F11. Alt F11 brings up the editor. On the left, this is the project editor. We now need to open a module so we can write code. To open a module, you can either go Insert, Module. Shortcut is Alt I M. I for Insert, M for Module. That opens up your first module. If you press F4, that will bring the properties. When you rename the module, it needs to start with a letter. It cannot start with a number. So always put X and then something. Try to make it as short and descriptive as possible. I'm just going to make a very simple example. I'm going to color a cell in red and I'm going to put a number in there. This is just to show what it can do. Anything can be coded within that loop, but visually it's easy to see when a cell turns to red. So we're going to start by typing range A1 dot interior. Interior is whatever happens to the interior of the cell. Dot color, so that's the color of the interior of range A1, equal to 255. 255 is red. And still with range A1, we will apply the value 1. So that's going to put a 1 into cell A1. We're going to repeat the process with A2, A3, A4, A5. Range A1 turned to red. I'll put 1 in there. Range A2, so the cell A2 just turned to red as well. Keep on going. So it works, but it's highly inefficient. So how does it work? Well, as you can see here, we've written 5 times the selection of the range. And the only thing that changes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how about we remove that number and replace it by a variable we'll call x row. And then we'll iterate through x row, which will take the value 1. And then it's going to take the value 2. And then the value 3, 4, 5. And at 5 it exits. So when I start a sub, I usually put a comment which starts with an apostrophe for me as a reference. To start writing code, you need to put it in a sub procedure. So you need to write sub, the name of your sub. It needs to start with a letter. And it will automatically finish with end sub. End sub tells Excel that there is no more code coming after that. Declare your variable. The variable that I call here x row because we're looking at numbers of rows, and x for a number, that's a way for me to remember what it is. I declare it as an integer. Alright, so now we're going to write our for next loop. So for x row, taking the value 1 all the way till 20. We close our for loop with next, so that every time it reaches next, it goes back up and gets the next value. So as we saw in the example, we go range A ampersand x row dot interior dot color equal to 55. Ampersand is just a way to link two things. In this case, A between quotes, which doesn't change, and then x row, which is a variable and will change with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 20. But the computer will understand it as it being A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, and so on. Alright, we just dezoom so we can see a bit more. Now we're adding range A1 dot value, or A x row, dot value is equal to x row, which means that it's going to take value 1, value 2, value 3 in each of those cells. F8 to step in the code line by line. As you can see, we've done A1, A2, A3 now, A4, A5, and then you can hit F5 to read it all at once. F5, boom, and then the loop went all the way till 20 to the cell 20. A20, and then finally exited the loop as it reaches 5.